What's up everybody, David here, and today we're checking out the brand new Will Putney signature plugin from STL Tones. Let's do it. Now we're going to jump into the DAW and take a little bit more of an in-depth look at the plugin. Alright, so here I have the project file that I used for that demo. So exactly what you heard, let's check out the guitar tone on their own. I wanted a fairly bright tone because I really like the top end of this amp, and let's check out the bass tone. That bass tone is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to check that out in a second. But let's load up the plugin and check out the preset that I used for this tone. So I guess it's not a preset, I actually made my own. This one is using the Uberschall amp with the matched cabinet, and I am running the distortion pedal beforehand. Volume all the way up, tone is more towards the dark side to control the high end a little bit, and then a little bit of gain on top. And I also am using the EQ as well. I'm adding a little bit of 10K for some smooth top end, taking out 3K, adding 1200 Hertz, and then a small high pass at 36 Hertz, so it's basically doing nothing. But that's the tone. Everything you see here is the whole entire tone. There's no external processing on either the guitars or the bass. Everything was done all within the plugin, and it was really simple and really easy to do. So here's that tone one more time. Pretty dope tone. I'm really happy with it. I'm loving this amp quite a bit so far. So obviously, like you've probably already seen, this comes with a lot of Will Putney's album tones. One of them, which I was very excited to get, was the Dear Desolation. I love that tone so much, and it doesn't stop there. You have artists like Northlane in here. You have After the Burial. Let's see what this. That's After the Burial, 100%. That is damn close. I know that record tone pretty well, and that's pretty close. Come to think of it, that'd probably sound good with that 8-string on the wall. But there's a lot of album stuff in here, and something you'll notice is that when you go to the cabs, this is a completely separate IR. Like I said, this is not one of the 5 IRs that come with the plugin. This is a special IR for that tone. And if we go back to Dear Desolation, you'll see a completely different IR. So technically, this plugin probably comes with 50, 60 different IRs in it, which is really, really cool. Combining amps is super easy. If we just open up one of these random tones right here, let's go with this heavy tone. See what that sounds like. Let's say we want to combine an amp. We're going to go to mixer mode. We're going to pick a random amp from the bottom, and then you use this slider right here to control how much of each tone you're getting. And it doesn't even stop at distorted tones. So within the STL Tones folder, for example, there are a bunch of different clean tones to try out. And these do ambience very well. Like, as you can hear right there, that's a very ambient tone just right off the bat. So if you guys are into more of the ambient, smoother stuff, I think this plugin would actually work for you as well. So it seems like it's very versatile here. Then they also have this palm mute rock, which is kind of like a low gain type thing. So there's even low gain options as well. Like I said, I feel like this plugin can be very, very versatile, and it can work for a lot of different styles. Obviously, most people are buying it for the Will Putney amp sound and just the crazy high gain distorted stuff, but it works for everything. So let's check out the bass tone one more time. That is a super aggressive bass tone here. So for this tone, I use the bass amp, the bass cab, but then I ran it through the distortion pedal, and that's getting you a lot of that grittier sound. So the amp actually sounds really good on its own, but as you can see, that pedal is just fantastic for getting a really aggressive distorted bass tone. And it's actually really versatile. You can get a lot of different types of distortions with it. There's not as many options here as the guitar tones, but there still is quite a lot of presets for bass. And of course, just like the guitar tones, each bass tone is using its own different IR that's tailored or maybe even brought from that actual guitar tone. So once again, there's a ton of versatility in this plugin because realistically, there's like 60 or something IRs in this plugin, which is ridiculous. And also, we can't forget about the lead tones in this plugin. So there's a ton of different lead options. That's where these pedals really shine. The one I'm on right now is called Creamy Lead, and it is pretty creamy. The tail on that reverb is pretty intense. So I don't know. There's a lot of different options in this plugin. I feel like a lot of people probably thought it was going to be like a one-stop shop, just super high gain metal tones, and that's all it was going to do. But I think it's pretty damn versatile, and it's pretty damn fun to use. Now, in a short review of what I think of the new Will Putney's signature guitar amp plugin, I think it is absolutely badass. It is so much fun. Just right off the bat, it's really responsive to play through. It feels great. You can tell they put in a lot of work matching a lot of these album tones, and they are pretty much dead nuts with the actual albums. All the album tones are actually using completely different IRs than the 5 cabinets that are included, so there really is a ton of variety here. I also really love what they did with the bass tones. I feel like a lot of the time we're always focusing on guitar tones, and I'm like, dude, what about the bass guitar? I feel like we're always forgetting about the bass guitar. Whereas in Will Putney's plugin, the bass tones, like the only way I can describe it is absolutely nasty. Like, these bass tones are unreal. They're so dirty, they're so grindy. Like, you can get everything to like a lightly distorted bass tone, to a super clean bass tone, to like crazy overdriven fuzz type of bass tone. There's just a lot of things you can do here, and for aggressive bass tones, this is probably one of the best that I have heard. I love that they added the amp mixer, which is something they did not have in the Howard Benson version. And then I also love that they included an EQ, because the high end can get a little unruly sometimes. That's something you really have to pay attention to. I found out it can get kind of harsh, and having that EQ allows me to take care of it right within the plugin, and I don't have to run an extra EQ on the side, which is just less work, less plugins, and it's good for everybody. And I'm crossing my fingers that one day we might get a standalone version of this plugin, because sometimes I don't want to play through my actual tube amp. It's a little loud, and it's nice to just plug into the computer. Right now I'm playing through THU, which is great, but this is better. So crossing my fingers for that standalone version to just start up and start jamming. So my final thoughts on this plugin is that it is badass, and you guys should go buy it. It's super versatile, it's super fun to use, and it is worth the money. On that note, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you have this plugin? Do you hate it? Do you like it? Are you gonna buy it? Let me know what you're thinking. I want to talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. I already said that. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified when I post new videos. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. My name is David, and I will see you next time.